Welcome to Music Monday, everybody. My name is Benjamin. It is Monday, and today we're going to be taking a look at the top 50 songs of the year 2021. And let me tell you, it was a rough year and a rough list to make because so many great artists released so many great songs this year, and it's honestly really hard to narrow it down to only 50. I think I kind of managed, and I'm pretty happy with the list that I came up with, but if you have any other suggestions or are like, oh, this song is so awesome, how is it not on this list? Make sure to drop a comment and let me know below. One more thing you should know is that I included only one song per artist because, let's be real, otherwise this list would just be dominated by the top 10 albums of the year. I didn't really want to have that, so this is where you're only going to be seeing one song per artist. And this channel is literally brand new. You're watching the very first video on the channel, so if you end up liking this video, make sure to subscribe for more content like this. With that out of the way, let's get into the list. Barely making the list is Dorothy with her only 2021 release What's Coming to Me, a great mixture between a slow rock ballad and some interesting blues vibes that are also a perfect display for her amazing voice. Lyrically, the song deals with mental health struggles with addiction, which is something the lead singer can very much relate to, but I personally feel like on this song it feels way more optimistic than anything on her previous album, which is why I think this is a great direction for her music to go in. Kings of Leon released The Bandit in very early 2021. It's been stuck in my head ever since, and it still hasn't left my head, and I don't want it to. Since its release, it has earned itself a Grammy nomination, which is awesome, but at the same time, I mean, we all know how the Grammy committee decides who gets the rock awards. Wow, you are already a household name in the genre and you have done the same thing for more than 20 years? Here's a Grammy nomination. Seriously though, even if I think that there are 48 other songs that would have also deserved a Grammy nomination, The Bandit is an awesome slow rock song that I think is deserving of not the Grammy, but some recognition. Featuring Mark Hoppus does unfortunately not feature Mark Hoppus. Some even speculated that he was on the entire EP, since Hot Mulligan did part ways with their bassist before the release and recording of this EP, but it turns out no Mark Hoppus involved, even if he has since said that he would like to cooperate with Hot Mulligan on a potential future song that they would then name not featuring Mark Hoppus, which I think is a great idea and I really want to see it happen. No matter what happens in the future, featuring Mark Hoppus is a great song that does not feature Blink-182, but strong Blink-182 vibes with some seriously back to school, angst, emo, pop punk era vibes that I personally am really digging. It's strange, I just can't escape screaming at my face so loud I can't hear my voice, breaking through my mistakes, free fall into grace, I'm not insane, it's time to kill the day. It's no secret that Papa Roach didn't exactly have the best run of albums in the past. Ever since 2012's The Connection, fans have been screaming at them to get back to their old sound, and I think we should credit them for not doing that. Even if the albums they've released since then haven't quite reached the heights that the old stuff has, I feel like they've been pushing their soundscape and trying to improve what they're doing, and I think the culmination of all of this is what we're seeing right now, with songs like Kill the Noise or the other single they released this year, Dying to Believe. I really think that those are interesting things for the band to go on in the future. Kill the Noise features a breakdown with screaming on a Papa Roach song, but also interesting electronic elements. It's just a great mixture of all the elements that you want to see in a Papa Roach song and things you didn't know you needed in a Papa Roach song, but Mash them all together and you have this awesome masterpiece. Holy Wars are one of the most underrated acts in modern rock. If you like what Grandson is doing to the genre, incorporating new school elements with old school sounds, then you're gonna love Holy Wars. I seriously think it's a crime that they don't even have 100,000 monthly listeners on Spotify, because songs like 1% Milk showcase a great songwriting ability, new elements, and the song is also catchy as f***.
All my favorite songs are slow and sad. All my favorite people make me mad, so mad. Everything that feels so good is bad, bad, bad.
Weezer released not one but 2 albums this year, and they're not bad. And some songs on them are straight up amazing, and I know that's not something that any of us expected to ever hear or say again, but it's true. They released some great material this year, and my personal favorite song is All My Favorite Songs. I know that sounds like a weird sentence, but bear with me. All My Favorite Songs is the anthem for sad, introverted loners, Weezer fans, but I'm not the only one who can't stop loving it, am I?
You know that I die for,
2020 was a great year for Bring Me the Horizon. They released Post-Human Survival Horror, one of their best material to date, and they were planning on expanding the Post-Human series in the year 2021 by releasing 3 new EPs, all tackling a different direction of music. And when I heard that, I was hyped, because 3 EPs in 2021, great! And then we got one song. One song. At least it's good. Kingslayer was my favorite song off of their 2020 effort Post-Human Survival Horror. And if Die For You compares to anything in their discography, it's probably that song. I think it's really interesting how they're incorporating old elements like the emo and pop-punk era, screamo type of stuff, with new synths and vocal harmonies that only work with electronics in them. I feel like they're incorporating everything into a big pile of I don't know what it is, but I've heard it and I love it. Holiday might have my favorite non-metalcore riff of the year, and luckily, the riff isn't the only great thing about this song. It's a quick-paced energy bomb that slaps you in the face in the good way and makes you want to get up and dance with your head and headbang until you can't move your head anymore.
This is for the nights I felt like this. Wish I could forget it, never will regret it. Always had my doubts, I will admit. It's worth the risk so I don't end up.
Captain Chunk released the best A Day to Remember song this year, which says a lot about the Day to Remember's 2021 album. Seriously, the way they combine pop-punk and metalcore elements, literally pop-punk with breakdowns on Bitter, is something I haven't heard this good since 2013's Common Courtesy by A Day to Remember. Of course you're gonna expect pop-punk. You have a catchy pop-punk verse, a catchy pop-punk chorus, and what's gonna come after that? A catchy second pop-punk verse, right? Nope, you're gonna get a breakdown, and that's the beauty of Bitter.
Hold the line. Hold the line. Don't pay no mind.
Here's a recipe. Take a hard rock legend, like say Tom Morello from Rage Against the Machine, and put him together on a track with a new school rock genius that completely reshapes the genre, like Grandson. What do you get? Hold the Line is an absolutely incredible effort. It's my favorite song off of Tom Morello's efforts this year, and it just perfectly showcases how you can combine old great guitar work by people who've been present in the genre for years with new school elements, production, and a vocal style that elevates the complete song. Tom Morello is literally Granson's childhood hero, so it's great to see how both of them give 110% to make this song something very special. Stan Atlantic and Nothing Nowhere put the pop into pop punk on a song that could easily be played all over mainstream radio if it was a little less heavy and sung by Ed Sheeran and Taylor Swift. It could also be played on mainstream radio if mainstream radio just hit a little more balls and wasn't afraid of playing something with guitars in it and the word death. Oh my god, that's so scary. Seriously though, this song is hella catchy and you're not gonna get it out of your head. It's an anthem for the pop-punk revival we're seeing right now, and I'm all here for it. It was unclear what would happen to We Came as Romans after they lost their frontman Kylie Pavone to an overdose in 2018, and instead of replacing him or cancelling the band altogether, they decided that Dave Stevens would take over all vocal duties, and we see their return with him on the vocals on this track Dark Blue. This song does two things at once for We Came as Romans. They incorporate new elements into the sound while at the same time paying tribute to what came before, and Dave Stevens really manages to live up to the high expectations that were put into him. Dark Blue is already a metalcore classic for me.
This is the part where I shut up and let you in. Press my brain, wrap your arms around my cortex, take you in and let you dream. You'll never get rid of me. Oh, I'm like a fucking disease. I'll make a home in your gut, 'cause it's somewhere warm to sleep.
2021 sure had a lot of surprises, and one of them was Wilbur Soot, a popular content creator on Twitch and YouTube, starting to release music with his own band Lovejoy. And I know what we're all thinking. If you hear that a YouTuber starts making music, it's usually a cash grab and trying to milk the fame one has for money. In this case, it's exactly the opposite. Wilbur Soot has been making music forever. He's already released a variety of songs as a solo artist, and while they have focused more on comedy, he took the comedic element and put them into a song structure that was more focused on actually being good songs, and that works perfectly on everything that Lovejoy have released this year. It's All Futile, It's All Pointless perfectly manages to combine fun and happy and upbeat elements on the one side with sometimes depressing lyrics, or at least realistic lyrics, and downbeat parts of the song structure. The song talks about growing older and having to deal with all these responsibilities when all you really want to do is chill for once and use a sextant.
All these fucking voices in my head got me feeling insecure again. They just leave me paranoid, paranoid, paranoid again. All these fucking voices.
Play Real set some high expectations for themselves with their 2020 album The Bastards, and those expectations were entirely met with Punching Bag and No Love in LA, two great singles of the year. But then they released Paranoid and crushed my expectations and went even above those expectations. The song is a great mixture of soft and heavy, quiet and intense, with haunting lyrics that deal with mental health struggles. And even with a lot of highlights during Paranoid, the song just keeps building and building until it erupts into the last iteration of the chorus. The voices in my head are singing this song. Add new Guns N' Roses material to something I would have not expected for the year 2021. But here it is. And while Absurd was a very absurd song, Hard School proves that they can still kick ass. And we knew that for Slash. He's been going strong with Miles Kennedy and released some very cool stuff, but it just hits different hearing him on the guitar and Axl Rose on the vocals. What can I say? This song definitely proved that Guns N' Roses, even in 2021, are still hard school, whatever that is supposed to mean.
I wanna break my baby. Yeah, hold it down, break her down. Oh no.
Khalil want to break their baby, and I want to break the replay button as soon as that song comes on. And I'm gonna be honest, I didn't really like it at first. I heard it and I was like, oh, well, maybe Khalil are a one-hit wonder, and Way Down We Go and their Genius Lost LP were a one-time thing. And then I felt myself getting drawn to the song over and over again, even though I didn't really like it, and I hit replay and then I hit replay, and it's been stuck in my head ever since. I can't get it out of it. I've tried. The four guys from Iceland delivered another intense, slow-burning performance, especially on the vocal side of things, that just leaves you wanting more.
I said goodbye and I wished you well, but you kept dragging me back to hell. I'll stick around, but I know it's gonna be the end of me.
Billy Talent finally announced their follow-up album to 2016's Afraid of Heights with this genius collaboration with Rivers Cuomo from Weezer. And somehow, even with 2 Weezer albums out on the market this year, Rivers manages to put his best verse of the entire year on a Billy Talent song. Which is not to say that he outshines Benjamin Kowalewicz, because he's also an incredible vocalist, but I can feel Weezer's influence, especially in the lyrical side of things, because it's just this fun element of sarcastic yet relatable yet somehow down to earth and what happens in real life. I feel like this is the most fun I've had in a Billy Talent song in a while, and that's a good thing.
Show me the real. Misunderstood can feel so good. You don't have to hide yourself. Pretender, pretender.
Pretender is the one song on the Main's new album that old school fans point to and go like, this is what the entire album should have sounded like, why didn't you make more of this? I want more of this, everything else is bad. And while I don't necessarily agree with the statement that the rest of the album is bad, Pretender is definitely the best song on here, combining the new elements that old fans hate and the old elements that old fans can't get enough of. Pretender is a seriously strong track and the standout of their 2021 album.
I don't trust myself. I feel like somebody else. I feel like somebody else. I don't trust myself.
The Bluestones deliver a mixture of old blues and new blues and old rock and new rock somehow perfectly matched together in just one song on Spirit. The song perfectly displays the feeling of knowing exactly what to do and then doing the exact opposite. If you're a procrastinator, you can relate to this, I certainly can, and the lyrics, I don't trust myself, I feel like somebody else, can be a little too relatable for some people. Spirit is definitely the song to put on if you have work to do, but decide to listen to music instead.
Don't speak it or make it worse. Your words only make it hurt. So shut up, shut up, shut up. You've said enough, so shut up, shut up, shut up. I'm not enough for you.
It's another Travis Barker feature, people! And it's a good one. Tyler Posey, yeah, the guy from Teen Wolf, has been making music for a couple of years now with a couple of different bands, but he really started his solo career in 2021 releasing a variety of songs, the best one, in my opinion, being the collaboration with Travis Barker and Them. Shut Up is not the full potential that Tyler Posey has, yet, I believe, but it's still a perfect showcase of his abilities and a great look into the future of the pop-punk revival that we're seeing with now names like Tyler Posey.
I'm just a sleepback. Nobody loves me at all. Nobody loves me. Nobody loves me.
Youngblood basically released a Nirvana song with Fleabag. The guitars during the verses basically scream, I smell like Teen Spirit, and his vocal performance, especially in the chorus and the post-chorus, is also very reminiscent of Kurt Cobain. Which is not to say that he's just ripping off old stuff, Youngblood is still one of the most interesting acts in modern rock. He gives it his own and the song is just straight up amazing. Oh, and did I mention that there's an awesome guitar solo? There's an awesome guitar solo.
She said to me, days like these, you wanna get away, close our eyes, pretend we're miles away, hear the sound of my heart exploding.
Bastille really surprised me with a lot of the things they released in 2021, my favorite of them being Thelma and Louise. In only 2.5 minutes they managed to pack a classical Bastille song, great lyricism, a chorus that reiterates and changes throughout the course of the song and then explodes into the best part of the entire song at the end, which is truly amazing. I honestly didn't expect to put any Bastille songs on any of my lists ever again, but suddenly we're Thelma and Louise. Wage War released some of the most innovative metalcore this year, and Manic, to me personally, is the most interesting song of the album. It reminds me of I Prevail's Paranoid, both lyrically and song structure wise, and I Prevail's Trauma in 2019 was so influential for modern metalcore that you can't deny this has some touch of it. The low and hip-hop-esque vocals in the verses perfectly complement the absolute metalcore insanity that we hear during the chorus and during the breakdown.
At least in my mind, I'm feeling like I'm the hero that saves me. There, I hold my head high, get everything right, delusional maybe.
Mike Shinoda is a great guy, and if he's not busy not being recognized by Twitch streamers, he is still making some great music. Featuring Absol and Ian Dior, he released the anthem for positivity of 2021, Happy Endings. I love how a legend in the rock world like Mike introduces newer artists, not to the mainstream, they know who Ian Dior is, but to the general realm of rock fans who still need to accept the fact that new players are in town. This whole last year was a shit show, but Mike is the hero that saved us.
And I woke up in the middle of a dream, chasing someone or something, a hidden face I'd never seen. Where were you when I woke up to a world without your voice?
Rise Against released the punkiest song of their later work on Nowhere Generation with Middle of a Dream. Even on an already great album, this one just sticks out to me as celebrating their earlier work. It would have perfectly fit in on Suffer and The Witness, which is a great thing. Judging by streaming numbers, this song is already on the best or worst way to become a hidden gem in their discography that not everybody will hear. So if you want great lyrics, awesome guitar work and pure punk energy in early Rise Against fashion, then definitely check out Middle of a Dream.
Tell me you're okay, yeah, what's that like? Roasting in glasses, it must be nice. Doing your best while you die inside. Apathy and irony, post-modern anxiety.
All Time Low are on a roll. Their 2020 album Wake Up Sunshine was an insane return to form and my personal album of last year. And this year they released 2 anthems for the pop-punk revival, Once in a Lifetime and PMA. PMA might just have my favorite lyrics of the year in the chorus, apathy and irony, postmodern anxiety. It's just such an encapsulation for the year 2021 and it's also just raw and energetic. I love how this is one of the catchiest choruses in pop-punk of the year, and I also love how Pale Waves fit in perfectly. Just like Mike earlier, they just managed to include newer artists and more unknown artists into their work and make them known to a more broad audience, and I can respect them for that. You'd be paranoid too if Waterparks released this awesome song as a teaser and then followed it up with one of the weirdest and most underwhelming albums I have ever heard. Seriously, Greatest Hits was so below my expectations, but can you really blame me? Because this song is what set my expectations so high. It's classic Waterparks. It's short, it's humorous, it's funny, and it's a hook that you will never forget. And even if the album was a miss for me and a lot of the fans, this song is still there as compensation, I guess. Now this might be controversial, but I picked this fight over and over again. Twin Atlantic are the most underrated rock band. I absolutely love their transition from more alternative rock to more dance-orientated rock on their last album Power, which was one of my favorite albums of the year. And even though they haven't quite reached the heights of last year yet, One Man Party is just an absolutely awesome song that perfectly describes the feeling we all had during lockdown.
Wait a minute, my girl. Wait a minute, my love. Summer, summer, I won't. Don't you know that I won't never be without you?
In the year 2021, there's not been a single song that hits you with more energy, more immediate than Wait a Minute, My Girl. Right after you press the play button, you stop whatever you're doing and you just listen to the song because it's so energetic and it's so fresh, it's so new. And right after you think, okay, now the song might get a little bit repetitive, they bring in a saxophone, which is awesome. It's giving me some serious 60s, kind of jazzy, kind of jazz rock vibes, and I'm digging it.
Replace my broken parts. I need someone to fix me. My heart won't heal 'cause something's missing. My sheets don't bleed that easily. Fix me now. Replace my broken parts.
Smash Into Pieces continue their way of releasing new music basically every month, and with that sort of output, hits are a guarantee. Chris Adams' vocals shine like beautiful little diamonds that will absolutely astonish you but also cut you easily, even if machines don't bleed. The Apocalypse DJ also delivers some great electronic words that is very reminiscent of Starset on their best album Vessels.
'Cause I've been holding on to you like paper on a glue. I'm thinking that the things you're saying, they ain't making sense. But all the things you said, like bullets in my head, you're driving me insane. But there ain't nothing I would change.
I can say with confidence that With Confidence released a song that absolutely confused me at first. Here's my original reaction to the song. Okay, acoustic guitar, how original. Okay, some like Western rock influences, country maybe, or chorus. This is gonna... What? Yeah, if you have not heard the song, I can guarantee you that your reaction is gonna be exactly the same. It starts so slow, but the chorus is an absolute powerhouse that I cannot and will not ever forget.
She never ran 'cause she never really knew how. She let the wolves coming with the bad man now. You're in the war, but the end is in sight now. The enemy is unloaded. So let the motherfucker know it's time to run now.
Euphoria is what we would have gotten if Tom DeLonge was still around when Blink-182 recorded 9. And I personally love the album 9, and I love Tom DeLonge as a vocalist, so mash those two things together and you end up with Euphoria. This is just a straightforward alternative rock banger that gives you a ton of energy and, well, Euphoria.
You come back when all is over. When the sadness is tattooed your shoulder, you just don't want to feel.
Silver Spoon is another example of a great rock song that starts out slowly and then delivers its full potential at the end. We start out with some quiet vocals and subtle instrumentation, and then we get the main riff, and then we get some intense vocals, and then we get the chorus the first time, and then we get the chorus the second time, and it's just pure perfection. This song is what originally drew me into their album, and spoiler alert for my albums list, the album is amazing. Remember how I said that it's super hard to choose which song to put on the list if an artist has released multiple great songs throughout the year? That's definitely the case for the Imagine Dragons this year, which is a great development. On the one hand you have Wrecked, which is a heartbreaking emotional roller coaster, and Dull Knives, which is simultaneously the heaviest and the best heavy song they have ever done. And I was really torn between those two. I ended up picking Dull Knives because Wrecked is somehow in the lane of things they've done before, while Dull Knives is really a new direction, or at least a direction that we haven't seen since basically 2009. Dan Reynolds geniusly juxtaposes his quiet, intense singing voice with emotional, gut-wrenching screaming. Dull Knives works so well because the singing doesn't sound forced, like on other songs of the album, and he's not just screaming for the sake of screaming, like on other songs of the album. I really wish that they went more in this direction with the album that they put out this year, because while the album is mediocre at best, Dull Knives is an absolute outstanding masterpiece.
Beaten and broken down. We are loving or hating. Nothing can stop us now.
Atreus Underrated is a perfect metalcore song that seamlessly transitions between hard, screamed vocals and beautiful, clean vocals in a way that I have not heard this well done in basically any other song, except for one that comes up on this list later. This is the most Bring Me the Horizon that Atreyu have ever sounded. The transition to the scream part of Graves collecting dust during the verse might be my favorite vocal performance by Atreyu ever. The guttural get the fuck up could literally be deathcore Bring Me the Horizon, and instead of slowly fading out, the song ends on an anthemic scream. Oh, and have I mentioned that it's also one of the catchiest choruses of the entire year?
So sing us a sad song. So sing us to sleep. 'Cause we all dance around the carousel, chewing through our tongues. The discourse is dead.
Staying in the realm of metalcore, Architects returned this year with what is arguably one of the best tracks of their career, Discourse is Dead. With the shift towards more electronic leaning and more soft music, there were haters who were like, with all the new waters that you're dipping your toe in, will you ever be able to do a truly great and heavy song? And Architects sang us our sad song and absolutely shut them off. The discourse on that topic is now dead.
Don't let this take me, split me wide open, rip me from the stars.
The Phalanx is the longest song on my list, but it doesn't necessarily feel like a long song. It feels more like 3 little songs under a trench coat trying really hard to pretend that they're an actual long song. But it seems to be a pretty good trench coat because you don't feel like the parts are not working within each other. The transitions are very perfect. And I feel like it's unnecessary to point out every single thing that Trivium does great at this point because everybody has talked about it, but Matt Heafy's vocals are on point and perfect and as brutal as ever. The drumming sets the stage perfectly and the guitars do the thing you expect the guitars to do on a Trivium song. This is a benchmark in their already great discography. I Never Loved Myself Like I Love You is a standout track from the Exclamation album in more than one way. For starters, it is the only song that uses the way that you write words in English in the song title, but it's also way more indie rock influenced than anything else on the album. The vocal performance, especially in the second half, outshines almost everything else we heard from them or this year. The song just goes into overdrive at the end, especially with the guitars and drums going wild as well. It's a perfect mixture of everything. This was another prime example of not knowing which song to pick because the entire album offered a lot of great songs. I decided for this one, but if you like it, you should definitely check out the Exclamation album. Now here's a song that would actually deserve a Grammy nomination, but okay, I'd settle for Nova Twins being nominated for Best Rock Newcomer, or being nominated for anything, or getting some recognition at all. No? Nobody? Rock fans will simultaneously cry about this genre slowly dying, and then when someone like the Nova Twins comes around, completely revitalizes and innovates the genre, they'll just look the other way. Antagonist is an energy-fueled, distortion-heavy, hip-hop influenced punk rock song with great effects, an awesome mix and master, and 2 vocal performances that make you want more. If you're still not convinced, Tom Morello recently said that the Nova Twins are one of the most interesting upcoming artists, so like, please, go check them out.
You won't ever grow up, you won't make it past 6, 'cause this truth will talk to money, don't make you his bitch. You won't ever grow up, you'll toy with your toys, and prove that evil comes in every size.
Assault and Batteries are definitely included for this single for Ice Nine Kill's second Silver Scream album, and to describe this song structure as ordinary and simple would be a devastating lie. Assault and Batteries is a playful song with a song structure that is everything but ordinary. You have a choir, a larger-than-life chorus, brutal screams and some of the best placed sound effects ever. There's a breakdown featuring a child laughing, and it's one of the most brutal breakdowns of the year. Ice Nine Kills delivered one of the best songs of their catalog with this Child's Play tribute. Kicking off the top 10 are Starset with Earthrise, that features one of the most beautiful metaphors I've heard in my entire life. I'm just a hollow moon that you colorize, you make me feel like watching the Earth rise. The Earth rise, not the sunrise. Remember, we're Starset, we're in space. The Earth rise, which is, I can only imagine, one of the most beautiful things a human could ever see, and you make me feel that way. It's just the perfect metaphor for a love song. It's not only the lyrics that make this song great, they are met with some of the most beautiful, haunting, triumphant instrumentation that Starset have ever done. This song is truly out of this world. I'm gonna admit it, we had a lot of metalcore on this list, and it was a truly great year for the genre, but if you ask me, there's only one band who takes the cake for best metalcore song of the year, and it's definitely Of Mice and Men. Pulling Teeth has my favorite brutal metalcore breakdown ever, not just 2021, ever. You think the breakdown that was already insanely good is over, and then it just goes into piece by piece by piece, but just with a more intense and honestly way better vocal performance than whatever I just did. But don't let the breakdown fool you, there is more to this song than just brutality. There is awesome lyricism, a great and catchy chorus, and just an overall honestly good metalcore song. Of Mice and Men truly outdid themselves with this one.
I was by the wayside, never seeking daylight. Do whatever they like, just tell me what you people want. Try to live a new life, do whatever you like, wearing somebody else's clothes.
Let's talk about the thing that will punish me for making this an informative video instead of putting 50 song suggestions into a 60-second reel and calling it content, the algorithm. But unlike the YouTube algorithm, the song algorithm is absolutely lovely. I know I said earlier that PMA was the catchiest pop-punk chorus, and I know that Boston Manor are technically pop-punk, but this song is technically awesome. So with this algorithm we go up one step in catchiness of the chorus. You cannot get this song out of your head. I promise, I tried. Even when falling asleep you will catch yourself humming along to this song. So proceed with caution.
I won't call your bluff. I won't give away the things I know. If you would slip on dirt, I'll never let you go. When you feel like giving up.
We are in the top 10, we are in legendary tier material, the best music of the year, and Citizen somehow managed to make me feel like I could have put any single song from their 2021 album on this spot and it would have fit perfectly. I ended up deciding on Call Your Bluff because it's probably my favorite song from the album. If it's not for the lyrical content or the outstanding vocal performance, you will love the song for its dance-infusing nature. The main riff is just too danceable, it forces you to move. Seriously, put me in chains, put that song on and I will break them just to dance.
I don't know when it'll pass, but I remember when she used to set the room on fire with her eyes. Swear to God.
This song makes me feel sad and melancholic for a fictional person, which is something insanely hard to pull off. It's small-town American nostalgia, it's an American family falling apart, the failure of the American dream, and that hits me right in the feels. And I'm not even American. But when Brandon Flowers says that he can still remember how she used to set the room on fire with her eyes, I can remember that too. And especially the guitar at the end, rounding up this perfect Killers track, just makes it all fit together perfectly. In the Coward Side is an emotional roller coaster that I'm not willing to get out of for even 1 second.
Better days are looking up the road. Don't give up and go with what you know. Hold the truth and leave the rest is not for you. Screaming out for love.
Let's get controversial on this last couple of steps, shall we? I know that Pollyanna is not universally loved by Green Day fans, and I'm willing to admit that it's not the best thing they've ever done. It's the best thing they've done since 2016, but again, it doesn't really say much when you look at the other things they've put out since 2016. Pollyanna just perfectly describes the feeling we all had in spring and summer, when we thought that we had defeated COVID, there was a vaccine, we were all gonna be okay, and this nightmare would be over. And we all knew that this was too optimistic and that more problems were on the horizon, but we didn't care and we wanted to have a good time for once, and I feel like Pollyanna perfectly displays that. I can only speak for myself, but this stupid optimism, knowing that it's wrong but still not caring and having a good time for once, is what I needed in 2021. It's probably why Pollyanna is my most streamed track of the year, and call me Pollyanna, but I'm very, very optimistic for the future of Green Day.
Just waiting on a wall for this and that. There's got to be more to this than that. Just waiting on a wall for this and that. There's got to be more to this than that. 'Cause I need more.
We have another Grammy nominee here, and this time it's one that actually deserves it. Waiting on a War by the Foo Fighters is awesome. It's the best thing they've put out ever since The Pretender, at least if you ask me, and I can honestly see why they were nominated for a Grammy with this. I cannot see that for the entire album, but that's another discussion. I absolutely think that Waiting on a War is outshining everything else on the album. Waiting on a War is a song that you will recognize has a pattern that's gonna come up with the next couple of songs. It's the pattern of slow in the beginning, but then rising and rising and rising and rising and rising until my hand is out of frame, and the song is incredibly good. And I think that's happening with the Foo Fighters' Waiting on a War as well. There are just so many iterations of the chorus that get more intense every time. I personally absolutely love it.
Bury your head in the sand all you want. A billion vibrations surround you at once. We're on our way together into the unknown.
The bronze medal goes to Biffy Clyro. When I saw that they released a song called Unknown Male 1, I was a little confused, and then I saw that the song was 6 minutes long, and I was surprised. I listened to it, and I was completely blown away. We always knew that Simon Neil could scream in theory if he really wanted to, but this is just a whole other level. He displayed his screaming abilities very well on the new Architects album, but hearing it on a Biffy Clyro song, him walking so close on the tightrope between extreme singing and slow but steady screaming vocals is insane. The build-up that this chorus has is also insane, but not only the chorus, the entire song just builds up over a duration of 6 minutes, which is extremely hard to pull off without getting boring or repetitive. The instrumental side of things is also something I need to point out, because for a Biffy Clyro song it's incredibly heavy, and the heaviness is incredibly well done for the fact that they haven't really dipped their toes into that water too much, but obviously they've done it with this album. They might only get the bronze medal for this one, but trust me, it's one of my favorite Biffy Clyro songs ever.
Is everyone against me? Has everyone goddamned me? What happened to this family? What happened to this family?
In 2019 I was surprised by the debut album of a little band called Badflower, and I was surprised because I thought it was really, really good, and I didn't expect it. It became my #1 album of the year, and then they were silent for a couple of months. They then released 30, which was a great song, and Fuck the World, which was not a really great song, so I wasn't really sure what to expect of their sophomore album. Will they just do the exact same thing again? Will they shake it up? And then we got the lead single, Family. Family is a masterpiece. They managed to not only reach the same heights as Ghost did, they even went higher. The drumming on this song is amazing, with some great fills and not just the normal boring background beat. The guitars are slamming and breathtakingly beautiful at the same time. And then there's Josh. The lyrics on the song will break your heart, while the vocal performance will take your breath away. I don't understand how a single human being can manage to pull off the slow, whispery, silent vocals as well as the absolute insanity that he does on the second part where he screams his soul out for all of us to witness. It's truly soul-crushing, but somehow beautiful and relatable and basically everything you want from a Badflower song. Another thing I want to point out are the obvious Falling in Reverse references that no one seems to be talking about. In a chorus he literally goes, "I've lost my fucking mind, it happens all the time." Like, does that ring a bell? I hope it does, because speak of the devil.
So God bless all of you now, 'cause I'm going straight to hell, and I'm taking you down with me.
So here we are. The best song of 2021 is a reimagined version of an old song. And I know that sounds like it's a weird thing to put on the top of your list, but if you're saying that, you clearly have not heard I'm Not a Vampire revamped. Thank you so much for tuning into this video. If you've made it this far, I genuinely appreciate you. Make sure to drop a like and maybe a comment telling me what your favorite song of the year is. If you want to discuss, I'm going to be answering all the comments I get. And if you want to stick around for more content like this, then make sure to subscribe. I'm going to be uploading my top 10 EPs soon. I'm going to be uploading the top 30 albums of the year. And in the new year, there's going to be a lot of interesting stuff on this channel. So make sure to stay here. I'm going to see you next Monday. Goodbye.